Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hi friends, welcome to my video column, and today we are going to talk about the partition of India. We're talking about partition of India because we know that on 15th August 1947, when India got independence, a great tragedy along with that also happened, that India was divided into two countries, India and Pakistan. And a large number of people had to move from one country to another country, and during that time a lot of bloodbath happened. It was a human tragedy of momentous proportions. So it is also time that when we start celebrating the 75th anniversary of India's independence, we also learn lessons from the past, and we also recall the horrors and the tragedy of partition and what happened during that time, because that is an important and integral part of our history. Now, when we talk about partition, so during that time, there's a lot of bloodbath which had happened actually in Punjab. Punjab was divided. A part of Punjab went to Pakistan, and rest of the Punjab remained in India. West Punjab, you can say, broadly went into Pakistan, and the eastern part of the Punjab, that largely remained in India. Apart from that, Bengal was also partitioned, and we know that East Bengal went to Pakistan and West Bengal remained with India. However, today we are going to talk more about Punjab, and we are talking about Punjab because that is where large scale violence had happened. And that time it is important to see that what role the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, that is RSS, played at that time. So in run up to the partition of India, the RSS had realized the need to prepare the Hindus to face the onslaught of communal violence. And the second RSS Sarsangh Chalak, that is Madhav Sadashiv Golwalkar, also known as Guruji, Baba Saheb Apte, who you can say was the first Pracharak of RSS, and Bala Saheb Devras, who held a very important position in RSS at that time and later on became the third Sarsangh Chalak in 1973. So they extensively toured the country, and hundreds of young men and women, young men and middle-aged people began joining the Sangh, especially in cities and villages of Punjab like Rawalpindi, Lahore, Peshawar, Amritsar, Jalandhar, Ambala, etc. In fact, the English Tribune wrote at that time that if Punjab is the sword arm of Hindustan, then RSS is the sword arm of Punjab. And the mouthpiece of Muslim League at that time, the newspaper Dawn, reacted by writing that if Congress leadership wishes to receive cooperation from Muslims, then it must ban the Sangh immediately. So that are some of the historical statements which were made. Now, Guruji initially went to Golwalkar was also known as Guruji. Guruji initially went to Sialkot and Montgomery after touring Multan in 1946-47. He entered Sindh from Punjab. The province of Sindh at that time had around 80 shakhas at that time. There were 52 pracharaks, that is full-time workers in Sindh at that time. That included Mr. L.K. Advani, who later on became the Deputy Prime Minister of the country in the Vajpayee government. Now, there's a very important text, and it's called Now It Can Be Told. It was written by Professor A.N. Bali. Professor A.N. Bali was an academician. He was teaching in Punjab University, and he witnessed the carnage which happened in Lahore and areas around Lahore. And it was a first person account which he wrote. It got published in 1949. Then somehow this book was forgotten, and a couple of years back this book was again republished by Prabhat Prakashan. Professor A.N. Bali in his book says about the role of RSS that who came to the rescue in those difficult times to protect the people, except those young men known as RSS. They arranged for safe passage of women and children in each and every mahalla, that is colony, in every city of the state. They arranged for their food, medical help and clothing, and took their care in every possible way. They organized firefighting teams in different cities and towns. They arranged for lorries and buses to carry the escaping Hindus and Sikhs, and posted defense teams in railway trains. We know that a lot of violence was happening on railway trains which were going from across the border, from one country to another. They patrolled relentlessly in different Hindu and Sikh localities, and they trained people in self-defense. So that is just a glimpse of what RSS had done during that time. Now we'll come to a very interesting aspect that how actually RSS expanded in Punjab. It also busts the myth that RSS was basically an organization which was run or which was dominated by the Chittapavan Brahmins from Maharashtra. So Manik Chandra Vajpayee and Sridhar Paratkar, they have documented this rapid expansion of RSS in Punjab, which happened in a short period of time. That is almost within a decade. From a scratch, the RSS became a formidable force in Punjab prior to the partition. Uh, the documentation which they have done, Paratkar and Vajpayee, it is there in the form of a book titled Partition Days, The Fiery Saga of RSS. Around 1934-35, it was the first time that three pracharaks, full-time workers, were sent from Nagpur to Punjab. And then, within a span of a decade, the RSS had more than 100 pracharaks, that is full-time workers, working in undivided Punjab. And 58 of them had come from Lahore itself. And there were more than 1500 daily RSS shakhas with a daily attendance of more than 1 lakh swamsevaks. And these three pracharaks who were sent initially from Nagpur to Punjab were K.D. Joshi, Digambar Paturkar and Mureshwar Munje. Then around 1945, one of the most dynamic pracharaks or full-time workers of RSS, Madharao Mule, he was appointed as the Prant Pracharak. That is, can say that kind of in charge of Punjab province. So he went there, and from there on the RSS work expanded even more rapidly. So this is how the RSS had expanded its work in Punjab, and not many people know about it. And then RSS played a stellar role in bringing a lot of Hindus and Sikhs from the Western Punjab to that part of Punjab which was there in India. Then even after coming here, the RSS set up rehabilitation camps. It helped in rehabilitation of the refugees who had come from there, and an organization was set up under the name of Punjab Relief Committee, and another organization was set up in the name of Hindu Sahayata Committee or Hindu Sahayata Samiti. The center of activity for both these was initially Lahore, but then later on it shifted to India. And the Punjab State Sarsangh Chalak, Rai Bahadur Badridas was the chairman, and Dr. Gokul Chand Narak was the treasurer of both these committees. So this is how the RSS played an important role when this partition of India was happening, and it helped in saving hundreds and thousands of Hindus and Sikhs. And probably that is also one of the reasons that during initial days when Bharatiya Janasangh was set up with the support of RSS. So initially the support base for Bharatiya Janasangh was largely came from these Punjabi refugees, and even till date this is a constituency which supports both the RSS as well as its ideological mentee BJP. So that's it from our side in this episode. We'll soon be back with another topic in our next episode, and thank you for watching. Thank you very much.